Acts 24. After 5 days, the high priest Ananias came down with the elders and a certain orator. Oh, they brought a professional speaker, Tertullus, who made known to the governor the charges against Paul. After he was summoned, Tertullus began to bring the charges, saying, enjoying great peace through you, and good order coming upon this nation through your foresight, in both every way and in every place we acknowledge it, most excellent Felix, with all gratitude. And Felix is up there going, so Tertullus says, however, that we might not detain you any longer, I appeal to you to hear us briefly in your graciousness. We have found this man a pestilence, stirring up insurrection among all the Jews throughout the whole earth, a ringleader of the sect of the Nazarenes. And when he attempted to desecrate the temple, we arrested him. And we desired to judge him according to our law, but after the tribune Lysias came with great violence and took him out of our hands, he commanded his accusers to come to you. By examining him yourself, you will be able to ascertain all these things of which we accuse him. Now, when he said examine him, he meant torture. That's how you examined them. They were about to examine Paul when they found out he was a Roman. Then the Jews also joined in the attack, asserting that these things were so. And when the governor nodded to him to speak, Paul answered, knowing that for many years you have been a judge to this nation, I do the more cheerfully make my defense concerning these things. You can verify for yourself that there have been no more than 12 days since I went up to worship in Jerusalem. And neither in the temple, nor in the synagogues, nor in the city did they find me disputing with anyone or causing a disturbance among the people. I know how that feels. I've gone to places saying, I'm not going to say a thing to anybody. God decides all this. Nor can they prove the things of which they now accuse me. But this I do confess to you, that in the way which they call heresy, I worship our fathers, God, believing all things that are written in the law and the prophets, having hope in God, which these men themselves also allow, that there will be a resurrection of the dead, of both the just and the unjust. I don't know if Paul was trying to start another fight or not, but there were some people there who didn't believe that. Ananias wouldn't have believed that, I don't think, being a Sadducee. In light of this, I live so as to always keep a clear conscience toward God and men. Now, after a number of years, I came to bring alms and offerings to my nation, with which gifts some Jews from Asia found me, purified in the temple, not with a crowd, nor with an uproar. And he's emphasizing that purified. I was legitimately there. Those ought to be here before you to accuse me if they have something against me. Or let these themselves say what fault they found in me when I stood before the council, other than this one thing, which I voiced as I stood among them. Concerning the resurrection of the dead, am I being judged by you today? When Felix heard these things, having more accurate knowledge concerning the way, he put them off, saying, when Lysias the tribune comes down, I will decide your case. Then he commanded the centurion to hold Paul, but that he should have liberty. And and to forbid none of his company to serve or come to him. And after some days Felix came with Drusilla his wife, who was Jewish, and he summoned Paul and heard from him about faith in Christ. And as he reasoned about righteousness and self-control and the coming judgment, Felix became afraid and answered, "Go your way for now, and when I have opportunity I will summon you." At the same time, he was hoping that money would be given to him by Paul so that he might release him. And to this end, he sent for him often and conversed with him. It was pretty typical, and it's pretty typical in a lot of, I would think, third world countries now, and maybe more than that, where you buy your way off. But after 2 years elapsed, Felix was succeeded by Porcius Festus, and wanting to do the Jews a favor, Felix left Paul in prison.